I'm still struggling to get above 500 for the year. I don't think it's going to happen. What about you, Parlay?
Not a chance. It's mathematically impossible.
It's brutal.
Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to our Week 17 pick show, the last pick show of the regular season. I'm your host, Jim Sella. I'm in studio with Jay Dash, Big Easy, and Johnny Parlay, ready to tear up some of these games this week. Dash, how'd you do last week? Terrible? You suck.
I went 3-2. Everybody else went 2-3. So
Yeah, you know what? I think that everybody else went 3-2 and you went 2-3. Did you write that down right?
Well, I wasn't even the one that said it first. Johnny Parlay said it.
Way to feed his ego, Parlay.
Hey, I just doing the stats breakdown, bro.
Jesus.
He's not supposed to cheat like you would.
Hey, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. Didn't you watch professional wrestling when you were a kid?
You're dead wrong.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
I would say you are the only one out of it, their esteemed host, for the best winning percentage of the year.
Yeah,
Everyone else is still in the hunt, it looks like.
Who's up for most wins?
We're
This
still
guy?
going to go through playoffs, though, right?
Playoffs?
You got a chance.
You got the most wins.
Oh, yeah, I was just talking about regular season. We're going to separate the records.
You got most
Nah,
wins
you're dead
by
wrong.
3.
You're going to go with your 32-41 record
Yeah,
In the regular season.
through the playoffs.
Picked about
you
30
start
more
again in the
games
playoffs.
than everyone else.
Well, this isn't real playoffs, man. This is just us making picks.
In the playoffs.
Johnny Parlay, you're 29,
Get to the
28, and 1. I am 26 and 23, and Easy is now under 500 at 13 and 14.
And how many wins do I got?
32.
Oh, yeah.
150 games picked.
That's all right. I still got 32 wins.
All right, let's start with the first game here. Cleveland at Baltimore. Baltimore is minus 13, and the over-under is 39.
Can I ask you guys a question?
No.
Do any of you know who the hell Connor Shaw is?
He's a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
I get that part.
Well, then don't ask.
I seen that on Twitter. My question to you is, who the hell is Connor Shaw? Where did he go to school? Has anybody seen him actually throw a football before?
I think he went to Norwin, I thought.
Norwin Knight?
Yeah, and then he got redshirted and went straight to the Browns.
Straight out of high school. He was so good he just skipped college football.
Brown-shirted.
I mean, what kind of name? This guy, Connor Shaw, that's just a weak name. Perfect for the Browns. I ain't seeing anything happen here other than the Browns. Yet another Browns loss, getting wiped out.
Browns, Johnny Manziel was garbage, just like I said. Everybody heard me call
What
that.
a prediction.
Yeah,
The Messiah has arrived.
that's right.
Well, the Browns lost 4 straight games now. But, well, 2 of them were more than 13, and 2 of them were under 13.
One of the
13
last
what?
3 years, what do you think?
Points.
Points.
That's what the line is.
We're talking points now.
13. That is hefty, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, the Ravens have playoff hopes alive. Cleveland does not.
Ravens at home.
Yeah, Baltimore has to win.
Baltimore's 3-2 against the spread versus Cleveland the last 3 years. 4-1 straight up in those games, and 4 of the games went under. Under in these games is what it's looking like. What's the over/under in this one, Dash?
Probably 30 or something.
39.
39.
Well, you don't want to touch that in this game. You really never know what happens when two teams in the same division play each other. It's either going to be a shootout or it's going to be a defensive battle. I would probably go under if I had to, but I don't have to, so I'm not going to make a pick on that.
At Cleveland in week 3, Baltimore won, but it was just 23-21, so it did go over the 39, and Cleveland covered. But just look at last week. Joe Flacco looked like complete garbage. They went into Houston and lost 25-13, and Houston handled them with Case Keenum at quarterback.
Flacco's contract was one of the biggest moronic ideas Baltimore could ever have. How do you give a guy... I get that he had a good playoff run. Well, yeah, it's good for us because we're Steeler fans. But he had a good playoff run. That was pretty much it. And like maybe a good 3 games to end the season, and he gets $100 and something million. Ridiculous.
I don't know. I initially thought, no doubt, Baltimore all the way, but I could see Cleveland possibly keeping this one close. Connor Shaw, is that the name?
Connor Shaw.
Yeah, he's the truth. So he might actually lead them to victory, but the way they've looked recently, the Browns, that is, I got to go Baltimore in this one.
Well, maybe
I got to finish strong.
What if they got Johnny Drama to play quarterback for him in Cleveland? Would that be better than Connor Shaw?
He ain't the truth. Connor Shaw's the truth. I told you earlier Brian Hoyer was the truth. which he was when I said it.
Yeah.
And the
Garbage.
Browns, they're going to turn their whole organization around here in the next couple years. I feel it. They got a nice base, but they just need a QB.
Neither team's very good against the spread this year. Cleveland's 8-6-1. Baltimore's 8-7. Baltimore's offense has been a little better. They're scoring about 6 to 7 points more a game and giving up about 2 points less a game than Cleveland. It's been a tough call with Cleveland all year. With Manziel and Hoyer at quarterback, they won a couple big games and they stayed close in a couple big games. But with Connor Shaw, and I seriously have no idea who this guy is, it's iffy.
I look back here, and Cleveland's defense held their opponents to 26 points or less in 9 of their last 10 games. So to me, Cleveland just has to score 14 points, and they will cover this line. I'm going to go with Cleveland.
Easy. What do you think?
Gallagher said it perfectly. Cleveland.
I think I'm going Browns also.
Oh, dang.
Parlays
Spread
solo.
Sorry, I ain't afraid to do it. I've done it all year. Going out on my own. Parlay's last expedition. I'll go out on my own. Sure. For the people of Baltimore.
You love sticking your neck out for the
That's right.
people.
Parlays for the people. You ain't seen the shirts?
Parlay for life.
Let's move on to Easy's pick of the week. He is 4-5 in picks of the week. It is
slacking since your first pick, man.
Well, he is actually just 1-4 in NFL games.
Wah, wah, wah.
He's a college boy. He's a frat boy hero.
And he's going with a game that he can never get Detroit right.
Nope.
But he's going to go pick of the week, Detroit at Green Bay.
He just wants it so bad. He's like, I got to get a game with Detroit in it right.
Green Bay is -7.5, and the over-under is 47.
They haven't won there in 20 years, and it's ridiculous. It's only 7.5 points, so I'm just going to go with Green Bay. I'm scared.
Well, these Detroit picks are just, it can't keep coming up red for you, so it's eventually going to go black, but it'll probably go on the 0-0 and push. Is it a half-point spread?
How come I get a hard time every time I pick a team, the same team in a game? Easy picks the same team in a game, or at least that same game every week, and everybody rejoices.
Well, we're talking the Lions here. We're not talking the Patriots, the Broncos, the AFC
The
All-Stars.
Lions are playing to win their division, man. They're 11-4. They're a good team.
Stick your neck out, son.
They're
Pick an underdog.
They've won 4 straight games, too, but when I look back at those games, they haven't really been playing well. They won 20-14 last week at Chicago and 16-14 the week before versus Minnesota, which is 2 games they should have handled pretty easily. But this offense hasn't looked in sync all season long.
You know, that makes a good point right there for me. Can you believe the over-under for Detroit this year? They're 4-11.
Unreal.
Sounds about right.
4-11. That's crazy, man.
Fantasy owners know that.
Well, they're
Only 4
They have been
games
performing.
went over for Detroit when last year, I bet you 75% of their games went over.
I'd say that'd be a good bet to make. But I'm not comfortable with 7.5. That's a little too low. I think they should probably get 9.5 to 10, probably, being that they just never even show up in Green Bay.
Yeah,
they can't win there.
Should've been a
So
little higher.
I'm going to tweak it a little bit. Thanks to my local bookmaker. I'm going to do a tease.
In week 3, Green Bay went into Detroit and won 19-7. And Green Bay is 10-2 in their last 12 games. So they're on a roll. And plus, they've been killing it at home. Look, 43 points at home, 26 versus New England, 53, 55. They dominated home, 38.
4 of the last 5 games between these teams have gone under. So you put that together with Detroit being 4-11 and over-unders this year.
Detroit's D is the truth.
16.8 points per game, I think.
What's their center's out for that game?
16.8, yeah, that's
on
what it
some
is.
dude's leg.
That's right. Unsportsmanlike.
You know, when someone stomp on my leg, it'd be a long night of.
At the spread, we do not tolerate unsportsmanlike conduct. Unless it's on easy.
Detroit, they got
Don't
some,
tread on me.
they got some unsportsmanlike athletes up there. They've had Sue, and as great as he is, he's a pretty doesn't really abide to the code of conduct. He's always getting in trouble for dirty plays, and now they got another guy out with a dirty play, but
That whole city's just crumbling.
it is crumbling. You're right.
Detroit's offense has scored 35 points in their last 3 road games combined.
Brutal.
We're gonna break down cities now. Where's Green Bay?
Green Bay's in
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. What? The city of Green Bay. It's no.
Looks like Irwin.
Is that it? Green Bay, Wisconsin. Is that the name of the city?
Well, the commercial that they have where they show the town shut down during a home Green Bay game is real. Like, literally, all the businesses and everything just
they still
just
got
closed,
pie
dude.
shops in Green Bay. That's the biggest
They
business.
make cheese
nice,
there, man.
That's a nice
Smells
sports
like
franchise
Easy's
in
feet.
general. You know what I mean? Green Bay's a nice squad.
Yeah, nice folks up there.
No, it's very
They're
good
like
folks.
Canadian.
Well, you know I love cheese all day.
Beer cheese, baby.
Oh,
The liquefied
beer
cheese.
We have a wonderful spread in the spread studios laid out for us.
Oh.
Chef Jim Sella
Believe it.
got everything going for us. He got the ham, he got the prime rib, we got the beer cheese,
It's the
Mashed
spread,
potatoes.
M lights flowing. It's
Dash's favorite food.
in studio spread party.
because Christmas was
Happy
just yesterday,
holidays.
and we're still enjoying ourselves.
Well, I'll give you guys a late gift. Give me the tease of Detroit plus 14.5. This game's gonna be close. It's for the division. It's gonna be closer than 14.5. So give me Detroit plus 14.5. And why be crazy and go under? Tease it down and go over, down to 42. Even though Detroit's D's the truth, I'm going over. Detroit and over. Take it, return it with your gift cards. It's gift time.
Just cross 8 Mile and head home.
Detroit's defense is good, but their offense they've only shown a couple good games this season. They usually score 24 or less points. Green Bay at home scores between 35 and 45 nearly every week at home.
Has Green Bay lost a game at home yet?
No.
Didn't think so.
So they're probably going to win, and I'm going to say they do cover this 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you, Dash. Green Bay's on fire at home. They really want the division. Detroit just really doesn't seem like they want it out there this year. They win, they lose, they win not very impressively. I know they're 11-4 and they're playing for the division, so they have won enough games, but it just seems to me like Green Bay at home is borderline unstoppable this year.
Well, looks like another spread solo for Johnny Parlay.
Say cheese.
All right, moving on.
What do we got next, Dash? Is this your pick of the week?
Yep, my pick of the week. I am 6-2 in picks of the week.
Garbage.
Yeah, garbage. You don't like it. Jacksonville at Houston, minus 9.5, over under 40.
2 garbage teams.
Is Bortles still playing quarterback? I seen he was a little dinged up.
He's
Yes.
fine.
All
He
right,
is gonna
Bortles
play.
is playing. He's got a hot new girlfriend, I hear.
Nope.
She's like 10 times hotter than Lindsay Duke.
Impossible.
I've never heard of
I'm
it.
telling you,
Impossible.
that's what I heard.
Where'd you hear that?
Bleacher
has-
Report.
Your
Bleacher
sources are feeding you bogus
It
information.
wasn't a source, it was Twitter.
Maybe the Bruno Field bleachers. That's not the truth. Blake Bortles is the truth, man. This kid's gonna be good.
Shout
I'm
out to
saying
Bruno Field.
Shout out to Bruno Field.
Still doing it.
Where
Houston
I break
went-
my arm.
Houston went into Jacksonville just a couple weeks ago in Week 14 and won 27-13. So they covered this line in Jacksonville not very long ago.
Hey, you remember when Jacksonville was in our division?
Yes, I do.
That was fun. We
We
had
had trouble
5
with them.
teams in our division.
That was when Jacksonville scored 62 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Blew
Remember
out
that.
Dan Marino in his last game.
That
You
was
suck, Dan
That
Marino.
was brutal.
Not really. I actually like you.
Everyone likes Danny Marino.
He was a great actor in Ace Ventura.
Please believe.
But give me some.
I heard him and Jim Carrey were doing lines in between takes.
like rehearsing their lines.
He was also in Bad.
Yeah, rehearsing their lines.
He was
Sean.
in Bad Boys. Which one was it? Bad Boys 2?
Bad Boys
also.
2.
They kicked him out.
Dan
the
Marino
ride.
better buy this car.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear some Jacksonville conducive trends here.
Feed us with the stats, dude.
Well, I'm going to give you a stat for Houston here real quick. They are 5-3 in their last 8 games, which isn't pretty bad. And all 5 wins came by at least 12 points.
That is one that I find hard to believe, but if J-Dash says it, it's the truth.
Parlay, what's Jacksonville against the spread this year?
Jacksonville, they're 5-9-1, yo.
Houston's 9-5-1.
Houston's
Cryptic.
been playing
It's very
better than we want to believe.
It's because they have J.J. Watt.
Yeah, their defense
Yeah.
is actually the truth.
They have a
They
great
only give up
defense.
19.3 points a game.
He's something
It's
else.
hard to find an NFL team that gives up less than 20 points a game in today's football. J.J. Watt dominates. They got good defensive backs. They just had problems with the quarterback position this year. They really couldn't put any points on the board.
It's an interesting division because those teams,
Jacksonville and Tennessee are garbage.
Yeah, but they're gonna keep getting picks.
Yeah.
And something's gonna happen. Something's gonna have to happen. In a couple years, that division's gonna be tough, and we're gonna be,
If Houston hit it right with Tom Savage, which they hope they did, and they have a quarterback that they can at least groom to be maybe a little better than Alex Smith, you would say. He's probably not going to be a Tom Brady, but he could definitely be in that above average class if they coached him up right. And that's really all they need right now. They got Arian Foster. They got a good offensive line. They got a great defense. I mean, you put a quarterback in there. Look how bad Pittsburgh was all those years with no quarterback. You insert a quarterback who is better than average, better than good probably, and we win 2 Super Bowls and get to another.
15 minutes we just talked about teams that nobody cares about.
That's right. This is going to be a very pivotal game.
Right. Well, yeah, right.
This is a draft pick game.
Jacksonville, that's your pick of the week. I'm going Jacksonville too.
I am too, and let's just wrap it up with this game. No one gives a...
Is that a spread
you know
sweep?
What?
I got Jacksonville.
That's a spread sweep.
Sweep it.
Who thought would have had a spread sweep on Jacksonville at any point this season?
I picked Jacksonville 2 or 3 times this year, man.
You know what? Then give me Houston.
What's
That's a joke.
You need to cha-ching sound with Jacksonville.
All right, moving on.
Sounds crazy.
We got Johnny Parlay's pick of the week. He is 7-7 in picks of the week, but 4-2 in his last 6 picks of the week.
That's right.
And not to mention, he is 18-9-1 in his last 28 picks overall.
Oh, it's heating up.
See, you should be
Sounds
taking your
good.
own advice.
Yes, it sounds good.
We got Carolina at Atlanta. Atlanta is -3, and the over-under is 47.5.
Somebody's on a spread solo this time.
Well, it's got to be you-know-who, right? Or maybe it's not.
You never know. You got to stay tuned in.
You got to stay tuned. But I'll tell you what, last week it was New Orleans versus Atlanta, and I said New Orleans going to make a statement here.
They did.
And they definitely made the statement that we don't want anything to do with winning this season. So that's a statement they made. So I was wrong on that pick last week.
The plane, boss, the plane.
So I'm going to curse Atlanta and probably lose the division for them. But I'm going to go with Atlanta over Carolina, easily covering that spread of, 3.5, 3?
Carolina's 4-1 against the spread versus Atlanta over the last 3 years. They're 3-2 straight up in those games, and 3 of those games went under. Under.
They were beasts last year, and they probably beat them twice. So, because
Atlanta wasn't very good last year.
Yeah,
Carolina is actually on a 3-game winning streak. While
it has happened before.
While Atlanta has only won 2 games in a row once this season. So you're saying that Atlanta is going to win?
That's right. I watched Hard Knocks. I've seen these guys. I know how they live. I know what music they like. I know what they eat for dinner. This is the team, baby.
Isn't this game for the division?
Yeah, this is a huge game.
This is it to win.
For that
Cam
division.
Newton's going to show up with broken bones in his back and dominate. He's way better than Matt Ryan.
That's a conversation for another spread segment.
Both teams are 7-8 against the spread this year. 8 games have gone over for Carolina. 6 games have gone over for Atlanta. I can't believe 8 games have gone over for Carolina. They must have given up huge points because their offense struggled early in the year.
What doesn't go over, though? I mean, hey, might as well. Blind squirrel gets a nut.
Not long ago, Carolina was 3-9-1.
Yeah, and everybody thought they were the one team that didn't have a chance in the division.
Well,
Tampa Bay doesn't count. They're not a real NFL team.
Yeah.
Gonna be a good
Alabama
game.
could beat Tampa Bay.
Gonna be a good game, I think. Probably gonna be close, but I think Atlanta will hold them off by the 3-point spread
By
without
the hair
a
on
problem.
their chinny chin.
They're at home, so they're basically laying the 3. If this was a neutral site, I guess it would be a pick, is what they say. So they're at home. Go for it. Hard Knocks all the way, baby.
Well, in Week 11, Atlanta went into Carolina and won 19-17. So by that, yeah, they should cover this 3. I wanted to pick Carolina, but I think Atlanta's more of a playoff team. So yeah, I'm going to go with Atlanta too.
I don't want to call either one of these teams a playoff team with sub-500 records.
I understand what you're saying, but when you look at both teams, which one actually has some talent? Atlanta, they have Julio and Roddy White. Carolina, they have Kelvin Benjamin, I guess Greg Olsen, but you just look at the 2 teams, I think Atlanta has more talent.
They wear baby blue uniforms.
So you're taking
Come on.
Atlanta, Dash?
Oh, we don't.
Yeah.
Easy.
I
What
like
about
their
you?
uniforms. We're gonna stay with Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta, huh? You've been hanging out with Ludacris again.
I appreciate Matt
Jermaine
Ryan's
Dupri.
effort. I appreciate Matt Ryan's effort.
What's the host going with?
Well, I'm going to stick my neck out for the
Nice.
people and take an underdog, and I'm going Carolina.
Wow.
Because I think Cam Newton goes in and blows out Atlanta at home.
Blows
Matt
them out.
Ryan has been stud at home for most of the early part of his career until I started picking games and picking him at home, and now he's absolute garbage.
I think there's
Cam
gonna be
Newton's way better than Matt Ryan. I get that Julio Jones and Roddy White are better
I will
players.
say this, Matt
Julio's
Ryan-
hurt. Roddy White's hurt. Steven Jackson's hurt. I like
He ain't
Carolina.
playing. Jackson's
Yeah,
out.
Jackson isn't playing. But listen, Matt Ryan's had a better season than Cam Newton by far. And
Yeah.
he didn't flip a truck.
You know what? Cam Newton has a better smile than Matt Ryan. I'm going to go with that.
Well, you're going to have to excuse me. I had to call the plaque store and tell them to make a plaque that says, here, on this date, host Jim Sella took an underdog, and I'm going to stick it up here in the corner of the studio.
Well, you better hold on to your bleeping hat for the next game.
Oh, boy. It's getting dicey. Who's up next?
All right, we got Jim's pick of the week. He is 8-7 in picks of the week,
Pick of the week.
but he's 8-5 in his last 13. Philly at the Giants. The Giants are -3, and the over/under is 52.
How is the Giants favored in any game? They have been terrible all year long.
They finally looked like
I'll tell
the
you
Giants
how.
last week, but
Feed us.
otherwise terrible.
Philly has lost 3 games in a row, while the Giants have won 3 in a row.
Yeah, I get it. And you know what? They got the butt fumble at quarterback in Philly, and they got Eli, dopey Manning. Looks like he's all whacked out on heroin or something half the time when he's out there.
Hey now.
It's a stand-up gentleman there you're talking about.
He looks stoned all the time.
Does he own Papa John's too? Or
No, I don't think
kickbacks?
Peyton
Does he
will
get-
let him in on
Does
it.
he get free pizza at least?
I doubt it.
He's a Fox's guy.
Yeah.
OBJ's a beast,
Pizza-roni.
man. Odell Beckham.
Guy's insane. He smoked me last week in fantasy, as he's done to everyone this year. You got to have him. He's definitely a first rounder next year, or a first round wideout.
OD Beazle.
OD Beazle.
I see no reason why he's not going to be a beast next season, and they should have Victor Cruz back too. So unless they get rid of Cruz, because they have ODB,
The games have been
Big Baby
pretty.
Jesus.
The games have been pretty even over the last 3 years. The
Dark
Giants are 2-2 against the spread versus Philly. Philly's 3-2 straight up in those games, and 3 of those games went under. Again, the under parlay. I don't understand. You've been on the over all year long, and every time I look at a stat, it just says under.
Well, it's all about the teams. You gotta go with the over anytime you're playing these big high potency team offenses. And I would think Philly would have had a ton of overs this year, but they have not, or have they?
Both teams have gone over 9 times.
And under what?
Philly under 5 and pushed once, and the Giants under 6 times.
Well, there you go. You take over in every one of these two teams' games.
The juice will catch up to you.
Nah, that's not enough juice. There's not enough juice in Florida to catch up with you on that.
Philly hasn't covered against a spread in the last 3 games, so that's a little scary.
They haven't won in the last 3 games.
Well,
They're playing like garbage. Sanchez doesn't look too terrible, but he did fall off since he became
I've been
quarterback,
saying
because
he
he
was
came into
terrible
the
since he
league
got the job.
pretty hot. No,
Yeah,
he,
well,
he
they
hasn't been playing that
look who
bad.
they had to play: Seattle, Dallas on a roll. It was the Washington loss that was questionable. You know.
Yeah.
You can't lose that game, so they're done.
Well, yeah, I don't even think they have a chance of making the playoffs.
No, they're already out.
But they're going to want to beat the crap out of the Giants because they hate each other. It's a division game.
But the Giants got all the mo.
These two played in Week 6 in Philly, and Philly won 27-0. But I don't think it's going to be the same thing. That's back when the Giants were in bad shape.
They
Oh, yeah.
still are in bad
They
shape.
were
They got
in
Eli
disarray.
Manning at quarterback.
That was their first loss in a 7-game losing streak, actually. But then ODB, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
ODB emerged.
Old dirty
And
Dirt
let's
McGirt.
not forget what this defense has been doing the past 3 or 4 weeks, too. Remember last week we said they had 22 sacks in 3 games or whatever. I don't know what they did this week. Would have to go look, but their defense has been getting to the quarterback, and Mark Sanchez is definitely a quarterback you can get to.
Well, Mark Sanchez runs into his own players. You don't even have to sack him. He just sees his dude, and he's like, I'm going to just run right into the back of that guy's ass, drop the football, and cost my team the game, and look like an idiot with wearing a headband in the post-game conference.
Wow, the hate for Mr.
Oh, I
Sanchez.
do hate him. All that said, I think I'm going to have to take Philadelphia in this game.
That's right.
I really hate
Yeah.
the Giants this year. I think they've been terrible. I think as bad as I hate Mark Sanchez and as bad as I think he is a quarterback, Eli Manning has been atrocious. He just throws picks left and right. He does not look comfortable in McAdoo's West Coast offense. He's a better thrower downfield. He's not a short, accurate passer. The reason why they picked it up is because Beckham can go downfield and do whatever the hell he wants on the football field, and Eli just chucks it up in the air and lets him go get it. So it's not that Eli's playing better. It's just that he's got a receiver making him look better. I think Philly's mad after that loss against Washington last week. I think they come back with a vengeance and win this game pretty handedly.
I'm flying with the host on this one. I also think it's going to be Philly. I just think that they're a better team. How about that analysis?
The Giants can't stop the run, so I expect McCoy to have a big game, but Philly can't stop anything. So Rashad Jennings, he may not play. If he does play, he's probably going to split time with Andre Williams. I like both of those backs. I like the Giants' passing game now. They're playing better. Eli Manning looks better. I say the Giants cover.
I'm going Giants, too.
You're going against your boy Sproles. Tier 1.
Love Sproles. Sproles is in my NFL Hall of Fame instantly.
Well, that's the season finale to the regular season pick show.
That's our regular season finale pick show.
So if you stuck with us and you still have a house and your mortgage isn't in escrow, come back next year. But we will help you out for the playoffs also.
Yeah. Playoffs? I want to thank you fans for listening. You guys can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can like us on Facebook. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Like the YouTube channel. Is that how they do it, Dash? They click the thumbs up?
Yeah, click the thumb thing.
Subscribe.
Why don't they have like a middle finger? That'd be fun. We should make our own YouTube where you get to click on a middle finger.
And if the internet existed in the 1960s, there'd be a middle finger button.
Believe it.
Right. It's not PC now.
It's changed.
Well, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Peace.